Okay, this is episode 10 of the pod, man. If you're tuned in and if you're new, welcome. For this episode, I will actually be talking about something that I've never brought up in any of my content, I feel like. But for this episode, I want to get into anime. And the reason why I feel like getting into anime is just because I felt like growing up, I learned a lot of things and have enjoyed the experience of watching so much anime shows. And I think it's something that is getting more popular nowadays, but I still want people who haven't tuned into it yet to start tuning in. And episode 10, I just want to congratulate myself for making it here because no one is holding me to do this other than myself. And I think there's a lot of creation in fulfilling the things that you need to do. I'm very happy to be at episode 10, and I'm definitely motivated to keep pushing for episode 20, 30, 40, 50, and we'll see from there. But yeah, anyways, so I feel like giving anime a shout out for this episode just because I've never talked about it, although it is a daily thing in my life, as in I'm an active consumer of anime. Every day I low-key be watching some type of show, and it's always a good watch for the most part. There's so much shows coming out that have been such a good watch, and I just want other people to be able to realize that there's this medium that is going crazy aside from all the regular shows, like live action shows that people will just be watching on Netflix and Paramount and Prime Video. But we need to stop sleeping on the anime. But I know that anime has been becoming more popular nowadays, which is okay, but there's still a few people that have no clue about what is going on in the anime world, and I feel like they're missing out on really great entertainment. So for the people who don't watch anime, I would say there's definitely a stigma when they may think that it's just a childish cartoon. They may think that it's probably nothing that great or too impactful compared to like other popular shows that people have already watched or have claimed as masterpieces. For example, a lot of regular shows that people may claim as masterpieces is like Breaking Bad or Prison Break, The Walking Dead, live action shows. And those shows are good for what they are. They are great for what they are, actually. But the medium in animation is going crazy and is getting better and better. And there's so much great content to consume apart from those regular shows that I've just named. So it's like you see how sometimes people may feel like shows are impactful for them, meaning like either the experience was good, meaning like the message or the lessons told through the story was good, from like the soundtrack to the color grading to the meaning behind the whole purpose of the the show, right? You get a lot of that through anime. Through every show you get, there's a level of expression that is being told throughout the story that is always written pretty nicely, 9 times out of 10 for the most part. So I think to best understand how great anime is, you really just have to dive into it without having that stigma or ignorance of thinking that it's just some childish cartoon. You really gotta lose that stigma of the approach towards watching it. Even thinking that it's just too nerdy or that it's just not for you. Trust me, there's an anime for everyone to watch. The stories told through the messages or the themes, symbolism, the artwork, the expression told through animation is so much more vast than a regular live action show. And even the production of it, they come out with a mass production of these stories that doesn't compare with live action. Anime has such a way of making the littlest things have such great meaning. For example, one anime that I'm watching currently right now is Haiku, and it's basically an anime about these high schoolers that play volleyball. You know, if I'm thinking naively, I may think to myself, an anime about volleyball. I mean, like, I don't really play or watch volleyball. How good can an anime about volleyball be, you know? I first had that stigma about watching the show at first, you know? Because I just think to myself, how good could it be? So I'm thinking naively about it, thinking, like, yeah, let's see what it's about, you know? Let's see these guys play their games. Let me tell you, this show is so much more than volleyball. But the story is told through volleyball, and it's just a really great watch. It was very entertaining. It has a lot of deep meaning and a lot of relatability as, like, you know, for athletes that like play sports and whatnot. And it's like, you know, I could have been stubborn to myself and think like, yeah, it's about volleyball, but I know I'm probably not gonna like it that much, or I won't watch it. You know, you gotta throw that little hesitation to the side and just try it. I feel like when you try things without the expectation, then that's when you start getting a real feel towards it unbiasedly, you know? And I feel like that's the most common thing that people who don't watch anime are doing. They're just hesitating, thinking like it probably, like, how good could it be? I'ma probably watch what I know or what I think is good already, you know? So yeah, it was the same case for me, and it's the same case for me nowadays, you know? I started watching anime at the end of elementary school, going into high school, and the first show that I watched was Dragon Ball Z. Now I can't remember how exactly I started it, but I just remember always seeing this Goku character, you know? This Goku character that's the strongest, you know, person in the world or whatever. I'm just seeing it online in media and I'm not really thinking much of it until one day I start thinking of it, and I'm curious like, bro, who is this Goku guy, you know? What is this about? And then I realized, oh, it's a whole show. It's a whole show to watch. So I think I just started watching Dragon Ball. And as a young kid, like, Dragon Ball is an easy show to get into because it's about fighting, you know, especially back then. I would say, like, there's a lot of great action and fighting shows nowadays, but back then when I was watching it, like, that was still like one of the best ones to watch for real. So as a kid, it was easy for me to get into because I just thought the fighting was so cool. It was mesmerizing, intriguing, and not just the fighting itself, but it was an expression of a whole story about this guy that wanted to just become the best fighter ever, you know? And, you know, it has like its meaning and its themes, its characters and whatnot. The show is great. So after getting that fix of Dragon Ball, I think I started thinking to myself, like, damn, I would have never expected this show to be as good as it is. But now I understand why it gets talked about, and people are always throwing this Goku character out on the net, making jokes or memes or whatever. Now I get it, you know? But that was something I didn't understand until I watched it and actually enjoyed it for myself. So after watching that show, I didn't really know what else to watch. And then I thought to myself, there's another show that is widely popular that I've seen that I have no clue what it's about. And it was Naruto. So funny enough, I think I searched up like the first episode of Naruto, and within like the first 30 seconds, I realized just how much different it was from a Dragon Ball Z, and I instantly put it aside thinking it's some nerdy shit and I don't want to get into it. I wanted to basically find like another show that was like Dragon Ball Z with, like, you know, fighting, prioritizing type of vibe, you know, martial arts. But I'm thinking this like Naruto show was like this corny, nerdy, next type of vibe. So I low-key never ended up watching it. But the thing is, the show that I watched after, and I'm not even too sure how I found it, but I think I probably just searched up like what are the most popular animes, and then I stumbled across Death Note. Now I think Death Note is like one of the greatest gateways into anime. And when I tell you that shit was so different from Dragon Ball, but the intensity of it mesmerized me from the first episode. I probably binged Death Note within that same day, or I finished it the next day. So I might have watched the whole series of Death Note within like 2 days. And then after that, my expectation about anime was blown because I never would have imagined I would have experienced such a show like that. And how it's different from Dragon Ball, I guess, for people that like don't know, it's a more psychological show. It's more intense. Like Dragon Ball is actually meant for the demographic of like teenage boys, but Death Note is meant for like young adults. So it was more serious, like it was more intense. And when I tell you, like, I did not expect to watch something like that so like, early in life, because I was like early grade 9 high school maybe. Like I did not expect it. So ever since, my expectation of anime was just blown through the roof, and every show that I continued watching literally did not disappoint. Until this day, I still watch it and it really hardly ever disappoints. And I say that to say, like, there's so much type of shows to consume and to enjoy that are really great, creative, artistic, expressive. Like, it's such a delight to experience some of these stories told, and I just don't want people to miss out. I just don't want people to miss out because, like I said, I never would have thought to have my mind blown with the way that they can tell these stories. All in all, I just think like we're in 2024. You shouldn't be naive about how great stories told through animations can be. Like, if you're not watching anime, you're missing out. The overwhelming impact of anime is outstanding just because I feel like, with me personally, as a person as well, I'm an introvert. I stick to myself, I'm pretty quiet. So I feel like I hinder some of my life experience. But growing up watching these animes that are showing me basically life experience being told in so many different ways, I feel like I am still able to like learn or realize or understand different type of things or concepts or themes, and I feel like it really helped with my approach in life just cuz I may not be getting that experience myself in a way. Even getting an insight on like a whole different life that I could know nothing about. It has a lot of education and knowledge within every anime. Not just education and knowledge, but they're very entertaining with the ability to get your attention and to keep your attention and to keep you hooked. It has a way in expressing a lot of emotions, and I found myself resonating or relating to a lot of characters in these shows or themes or plot lines. And it's a delight seeing like what you resonate with being told in a different volume. I probably feel like when it comes to anime, I could probably go on and on for real. People who don't watch anime may look at people who watch anime that look pretty nerdy or like pretty childish. But it's like, in a way, like there could be a reason for that, and that reason could be 100% valid. Even if it isn't valid, it could still be something to try and understand, because people aren't just cosplaying for no reason. People aren't just making content about anime and talking about it a lot for no reason. People aren't watching it for no reason. There's a lot of reasons for you to watch it, and at the top of my brain, for anyone that may have not watched anime before, just look into the popular ones and just see which one might strike your eye. And just when it comes to starting one, you just gotta not have any expectations. Go into it as like loosely as you can, and just slowly but surely invest yourself with getting into it, and there will be a show that'll have you hooked. If I had to recommend shows for new people to watch and to try to get into anime, I would recommend Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a pretty easy and straightforward anime that can be a really good gateway because it's a newer generation one, meaning that The animation is really good, the soundtracks is really good, the colors are popping. It's very intense, it's very moody. It has all of the good foundations of a good anime. So I would recommend Demon Slayer. Another one that I would recommend is Death Note, because speaking about Death Note, I have yet to see a person dislike Death Note. I have yet to see it, and the fact that it's basically what broke my expectations on anime, and I've seen other people gateway with anime starting with the Death Note, enjoying it as much as I did. I feel like it's a good heavy hitter from back in the day that I think is good to watch. Or a third anime that I would say to maybe end it off with is, you know what? Let me look at my list. Because to be honest, full transparency, I've started keeping a list of all the animes I watch because I watched so many and I don't want to forget these. I guess Demon Slayer, Death Note, and maybe for the third option is either pick of the big three. So Naruto, Bleach, or One Piece. Either one of those can probably still get you nice and hooked. If not, I would say probably just search up the newer gens, just because I know the older gens can have pacing issues and animation issues, you know. But nevertheless, I think that's all I got for today. I hope I've helped make one person decide to start watch anime. But nevertheless, you guys already know what it be. You guys know it's the guy, that's me. Episode 10, man. I'm proud of myself. I'll catch you guys in the next video though, because it's not over yet, man. It's not over yet.